take vitamins,
right.
breathe,
Right.
and eat a balanced diet.
Well, what if you only did one of those things?
And visualize exercise.
Wait. Really?
This is my new program.
You can visualize exercise and lose weight. Because I can sit around and visualize exercise.
Exactly.
I can get a video of people exercising and watch that.
Well,
depending on who I'm watching exercise, I might even sweat.
I once misconstrued that basketball players in the pros are really good because they visualize their game in advance of their game.
They do.
Yeah. So if I visualize like jogging and doing cardio and getting sweaty and worked up and working out, feeling really good, I feel fitter already.
Yeah, but you have to do it. I mean, the golfer has to, visualize it off the club into the hole. But then you have to actually swing the club. You can't just visualize it and then walk to the next hole.
Can you prove that?
Yes, I can.
Can you prove that?
There's no pro golfers out there that don't hit a golf ball.
Isn't there a person? I bet there's a person out there that has achieved something amazing by just visualizing it, and then they could do it.
It's probably one of our listeners. So if you have done that, then write to us in the comments or call me up because I'd like to know how you did that because I'd like to be successful sitting on my butt on the couch.
So right now the burden of proof is on Bill. Welcome to the Bill and Jason Show.
I'm Bill Hermann.
I'm Jason Jones. And you had an amazing wedding reception.
I always have amazing wedding receptions. I'm just that good.
Well, not really, but please tell us more.
It was nice. It was nice. This weekend down at the Millennium Hotel, which is downtown Minneapolis on the end of the Nicolette Mall, or if you're French, the Nicolet.
Yeah.
And
it's very futuristic.
Well, they named it, I think, around 1999. Because it was called something else, and they went, hey, wait, it's going to be the Millennium soon.
And they hoped that Prince would, cut the ribbon.
Right.
But he didn't bite.
Nope, he didn't. He does bite. Anyway, we were down at the wedding. It was in the grand ballroom, 400 people.
Wow, that's huge.
Big. And they did that many people and did not have anybody on the dance floor. No tables on the dance floor whatsoever.
Oh, that's
I had
incredible.
For dinner, they did that and gave me a clear, big dance floor, like 22 by 22.
That's fantastic.
But anyway, we did lots of cool things. We did a fun introduction, which everybody was completely into.
Yeah, what was your favorite part? Which part made you go, oh my God, I'm so glad I do what I do?
This one was the father-daughter dance. In the entertainment experience, we do a workshop called The Art of the Audio Edit. Mm-hmm. Something that I got kind of good at over the years working in radio before this.
Kinda.
Whatever.
He got really good at it.
But it was I did one for him, for the father by interviewing his daughter, who's a very analytical young lady, and very serious about the details and difficult to really get her to be chatty. But we had her interview, and even afterwards, she was like, I don't know, Bill. I didn't really give you anything. I'm like, I think you did. We talked for like 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. I think we're fine. If I don't get anything, I'll let you know. But, and she was trying to convince herself for weeks, you shouldn't use it because I'm sure it's terrible. I'm like, well,
like really self-conscious about it. Many people are about being recorded. Like, don't ever play it back for your client. Right. Is that what I sound like? Right. Oh, my God.
A couple of times she did say, can I hear it? And I went,
no. Yeah, that's a good idea.
You cannot hear it. You can hear it on the dance floor with your dad or we won't do it. Pick one. I'm serious. Pick one. Uh-huh. You got to trust that it's going to be great or you trust it's not going to be great. Mm-hmm. You don't think it's going to be great. You're not going to. No. Anyway. We had a fun room, and when I met the father of the bride, who I was told was he's a great big guy. He's got another 3 inches, 4 inches on me, and he's enormous, like a barrel of a guy, like a tree trunk, and there I am. I hear myself in my speakers. Thank you. But he's like a big barrel of a guy, and. Mm-hmm. And he's very serious, just like his daughter, And first thing he I met you. Yeah, you're the guy. I heard about you. Yeah, my daughter and son-in-law, they've been telling me all kinds of amazing things about you. And after I heard what you charge, you better be. Mm-hmm. That was his conversation. And I said, well, no, I'll do my best to rise to your expectations. You have speech coming up, and he talks about the speech a little bit, and he's worried about the speech because his brothers are both in radio. So I got him in a place where it didn't matter, because he was really worried he was not going to be able to do a speech. And I could tell right away. I mean, if I just gave him a little introduction, he already held the room by his size and his huge personality he had, even though it wasn't, jovial.
Right.
So we played with him a little bit, and I created him and to be who I knew he was. To be this big, strong, loving guy that the world wanted to see. So when I introduced him for his speech in front of 400 people, half of which never met him before, they were riveted. Everything he said was hysterical and funny, and he was emotionally moved. So I'm thinking, well, the father-daughter dance is going to be great.
Right.
We get to the father-daughter dance, and I introduce him, and the moment he hears his daughter's voice on it, you can see him begin to crumble. Okay, he throws his head back like this, and he starts to go red. And she says this one point in the song that she said he's kind of an emotional guy. He's one of those guys that cries at birthday cards. And he smiled, and a lyric came up, and then the next thing she said was, he's probably crying right now. And he went, oh. She wrapped her arms around his big barrel of this man, and he reached inside of his shirt, pulled out tissue papers, and he's like, oh my God.
Oh,
people just
so
erupted
awesome.
in cheers. It was, and then lots of little tiny moments like that every last human being in the room was completely connected to, and I could have done no wrong the rest of the evening.
Wow, that's incredible.
And only had that and had a great night. It was really awesome.
Wow, it's like the whole narrative of like the experience built onto it, from his speech to, and no one be expecting it. Like everything was like, oh, it just keeps getting better. Oh, another chapter, like going through that delicious book. Well done.
And later in the evening, I had the guts to go up to him and said, so. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And he gave me a hug, and it was awesome.
Oh,
it was
that's
awesome, man.
That
What did you do on the
those
weekend?
Are the moments to live in. Oh, I celebrated. I celebrated our anniversary with my wife Kelly.
How many years?
11 years.
11 years. She
of
hasn't
marriage.
figured you out yet. Because
Yeah.
if she did, you wouldn't be living here.
Oh yeah, you're very funny. Yeah, you post on our little Facebook thing like, oh, another year of wondering what was I thinking. Thanks for bringing that up. I thought you were my friend.
Yeah, no problem, man.
So anyway, we had a really good time and made some magic of our own.
Yeah.
But what I'm really excited about is our guest that we have coming up in just a moment here. As soon as we take our break, we'll get started. But this guy is going to be a presenter at Mobile Beat.
Joe.
Mobile Beat 2015.
Yeah, we're going to be there.
He's been in the business for like 30 years.
Yeah, he's going to be there. We're going to be there.
From a marketing background, and he's like, kind of picked up wherever he could pick up education ideas. Whenever he'd see someone to be a good mentor, he would do that. And
he's got a weird accent.
And it's like, and now he just kind of, it's almost like he emerged like, all right, it's time for me to give back to the industry.
Yeah.
And so now he's out sharing with everybody like his insights.
He's made some really funny videos too. If you haven't
right.
seen those, they're really awesome.
Yeah, no, it's just fantastic. And he's he's spoken at Mobile Beat a few times.
Yeah.
He's been at Wedding MBA. He's spoken at DJ Times. So he's really
good looking.
Really been around. And I think
I can't remember his name though.
His presentation is going to be really, really fascinating.
Joe
Bunn.
Joe Bunn. Oh, that's not who I was thinking about at all.
Well, then that's who we're going to talk to coming up right after this
on the Bill and Jason Show.
So, Joe, hey, welcome to the Bill and Jason Show. Thanks for taking the time out to come and visit with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So that's your real name, right? Bunn, B-U-N-N?
I never came up with a DJ name. I was never that clever.
Okay, so...
I don't know. I think DJ Bunn would be attractive, too.
Bunn. That must have been fun.
Oh, man, it's...
Were you
I've had every
beat up in school,
variation.
too?
Honey bun, hot dog bun. it's funny, like people will take a 7-letter name and it will get destroyed. Joe Barnes, Joe Bond. That's my favorite,
Right.
Joe Bond.
I like that. That'd be a good radio name, man.
Right? That's a good radio name, good spy name.
There you go.
I'm
It's
I'm
like
sticking with
have
that.
it all of it. Now we know his real MO. He's an undercover agent.
Joe Bond.
And so like all the interesting stuff we really want to ask him, he can't tell us because then he'd have to kill us.
Yeah, exactly.
So since we can't talk about that, let's talk a little bit about what you're going to be presenting at Mobile Beat 2015, and we're really excited about what you're going to be sharing with everybody. And we thought this would be a great little way we could give a sneak preview to folks of what they could expect from Joe Bunn when he comes and does his presentation
and shows his bun.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm really, to be honest with you, this is probably the most excited I've been about Mobile Beat since I went, 10 years ago as an attendee. I mean, I feel like that they really went over and beyond to ask DJs what's wrong with the show, what works, what doesn't work, and the whole restructuring, having hosts, having huge headline speakers, having good speakers that are each presenting something individual is really revolutionary. And I think that listening to the DJs is going to make this probably the best Mobile Beat ever. So I really am honored to even be on the roster. And I will be talking, the working title of my seminar, if you will, is All the Small Things. And then kind of the subheading would be all the things you should be doing for your business, but probably aren't.
Okay, that wasn't what was going through my head. But sadly, I'm glad that it is that and not, let me tell you about Bill.
Now that you mention it, I think I'll take notes during this podcast. So what are in terms of like these all the small things? Are you talking about like the details when you're planning, or kind of what scope do you cover when you're talking about like all the small things in a person's business, talent, performance, or is it all the above?
And I'm going to listen to you while I have a sip of coffee.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit of everything, but I'm a marketing guy. I mean, I didn't go to school for marketing. I didn't study marketing, but I feel like the growth of our company was based on marketing. And as such, I feel like a lot of what the seminar touches on literally goes from everything from the social media aspect of what's happening now and what you should be doing there, to how we take care of vendors, not only at the event, but also before and after the event, to all the way to the follow-up, what kind of things that we send out after the event to the client, to the vendors we work with. So it's almost a bit of a marketing component to it, but there are some things that we'll touch on in terms of the performance aspect of it while you're at the show.
Well, and everything we do anyway is marketing, right? I mean, everything we are, what we do, how we present ourselves, it's not just the things we type out in social media or that we put down on brochures. We are marketing.
This is right. If you're like myself, you do everything. I mean, you wear different hats. You're the personality. You're the PR person. You're the marketing director. Sometimes you have to do your own graphics. I mean, you have to cut videos. I mean, as a small business owner, you have to be able to do all those things, and that's what's so unique about the DJ business. And when I tell people, and especially people that come to these seminars or these workshops, it's not like that they've decided to open a Smoothie King, for example, or a franchise. If I open a Smoothie King and you're the president, you hand me a manual and it literally spells out, here's exactly how to be successful. This is how you make a smoothie. This is how we collect money. This is so on and so forth. But the DJ business, that doesn't exist. So things like this podcast or things like our workshops or things like Mobile Beat are the only way really for people, especially that are getting into it or kind of hit the wall and need to get to the next level. That's the only way to learn. There is no manual. I mean, yes, people have written books about it and people, put out DVDs and other things, but unless you keep going to these things and watching videos like this or reading the Disc Jockey News, reading Mobile Beat, you're never going to keep learning. I mean, I'm still learning myself.
Well, and you're originally, and from your thick accent, I can probably tell that you're like from Great Britain, right? So
I am. This is the King's thing. This is the Queen's thing.
So you grew up in a small town, right, in North Carolina?
I did. I grew up in Eastern North Carolina. So I'm in Raleigh now, which is the capital, and then about 45 minutes east of here is where I grew up from.
What were you thinking? I mean, at what point, when did you go, hey, I think I'll go out and make no money at all and try to be a performer?
I never knew. I don't think I've known anything else. I mean, it honestly started when I was 13. I took my parents' home stereo and went out and did a teen club party. Yeah. And then I would do parties for their friends and things and charge $50 or whatever. And now I make $55. So that's
awesome.
In 30 years, I've bumped my salary $5.
I'll be taking notes at your
Excellent progress.
And it was one of those things where it just kind of caught on. It when I went to Chapel Hill to college, I took it there and did it, freshman through graduation, senior year, which was 20 years ago now. And then moved down to the beach for a while, did it in all the bars and beach bars and clubs down there. And then finally moved here about 15 years ago. And that's when it really became a multi-op, file the paperwork. This is a serious business, and start hiring guys because you're turning away work. Every time you answer the phone and say you're booked,
right?
Well, they're still going to get married. They still need a DJ. DJ should be working for you.
Well, I've noticed too that part of what's happened to you is you've gotten a lot of press. You've been on television. You've been on a couple of national television things as well. Was that kind of the tipping point in your company, or did that just happen? Did you go out looking for that? Were you working towards that part of it, or what was going on there?
No, I mean, yeah. Again, it's as the owner of the company, I'm kind of wearing many hats, and to go out for me and network with people that kind of led me to that, it only helped increase the brand. So if and again, it's something I've spoken about before, and I talked about last week to a local ISIS group here. I showed 2 video clips. One was from a reality TV show that ran on the Style Network, and it must have been on repeat because randoms would come up to me at the mall and say, "Hey, dude, I saw you on the Style Network." And I was like, "Well, how about telling me what channel it is?"
Right.
And it was Whose Wedding Is It Anyway? And I think they maybe only shot, I don't know, a dozen episodes, and it was like they must have just looped them all day, like a marathon.
Sure.
And then also, and I explained it like this: sometimes it's as simple as just ask. So our local news station here, WRAL, has asked me every February to come on and speak the day after the Grammys. Let's recap the Grammys. The head anchor there is going to ask questions. He doesn't watch it because he went to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So he kind of gets, off air. He gets a little bit of, feedback from me. We kind of chat back and forth. And then, boom, the cameras start rolling, and it's live at 8 a.m. And here's Joe and Bill Leslie.
That's really cool. And I think to a lot of DJs listening, including myself, I think to myself, that is a really cool gig. And it's really creative, and it's something that fits so perfect with your expertise as a DJ entertainment company.
Exactly.
It's a perfect fit.
Just like you said, it sells you as the expert.
Yeah, right? So now here's my question, okay, which I think is the biggest question in the room.
The question they're all going to ask is,
how did it come about that you were either asked to do that, or that you knew someone, or that it came up, or that it showed up right?
Right.
This happened, that particular instance was a guy contacted me a year before from the station, and he did a piece on owning your own business or something, and they came in and filmed me at the office or something like that. And again, that was just completely random. I think they were, one lady kind of made widgets or something in her garage. There was a DJ, and then maybe there was like a house cleaning service.
So he videotaped you working hard as a DJ at your desk.
At my desk, exactly. He did not come to the show. It was and I kept in touch with him. And then I think right around the time I thought about the Grammys, maybe the week before, I think I even tweeted to him, "Hey, Brian, what do you think about this? Coming on the day after the Grammys and kind of doing a recap. Who were the big winners? Who were the surprises? Who was a great performance?" And literally he was like, "Sounds great. Can you be here at either 6 a.m. or 8 a.m.? And of course I chose the 8 a.m.
Right. That's awesome.
Recap anything, it would be number 1, dumb luck. Number 2, take that dumb luck and then actually.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to keep those relationships. I mean, every relationship, everybody you're in contact with, especially around your business, much less your personal life. I believe it's everybody.
Yes.
If they are kept involved in what you do, what you're excited about, and how you can help them and how they can help you, people will step up for you, even in the big mysterious television world.
Right.
Well, and what really stands out for me is when, and you touched on that, Bill, is when you said, I stayed in touch with him.
Right.
So describe for me a little bit like what it looks like for you to stay. And I bring this question up because it's a block for a lot of people. Like, well, geez, how do I stay in touch? Do I have to have lunch and beer with the guy? Do you have to hang out with binoculars?
Of their wife and moving in and out of work. Right. Do a lot of binocular work.
Mm-hmm. So what is staying in touch with, when you say, I just stayed in touch with them, what does that look like?
I mean, in this particular case, again, I wasn't super friendly with him, but we exchanged cards. Mm-hmm. So I had his email address, and again, he is on air. So, like most people on air, whether it's on radio or TV, they'll often give out their Twitter handles, and they are pretty interactive, and they are monitoring their own feed.
Sure.
So he would post, hey, look at this spot I did today about downtown Raleigh and how Fayetteville Street is becoming the new hot spot to go out at night, and I'd retweet that. Or I'd respond to it, say, hey, great piece, Brian, looking forward to seeing the next one.
So you found ways to contribute to him, to give back to him, whether you're sharing his tweets or you know what I mean? It's like looking for ways it's like, how can I be an asset for this guy?
Yeah, exactly. And now, again, that game plan is completely different from, for example, like a wedding vendor game plan. And that's something that I'm going to be speaking about at Mobile Beat as well, in terms of here are the things that I do to keep in touch with vendors. So, say I play at an amazing venue somewhere in Western North Carolina in the mountains, and I've never been there before, but I'd love to go back. I'm not going to sit there and drive back to the mountains, do a pop-in visit, and things like that. But there are other things that I'm going to be talking about that will possibly get you in the door and get them to add you to the preferred vendor list. So there's different ways I keep up with people, whether it's a vendor or someone on the news or even just, friends and family.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So last question in terms of now this,
I might have one.
I'm excited about.
Your last question.
Second to the last question following Bill's capstone question of this entire conversation. Bill, but the question is so you're going to be covering these little things and the little things and really insightful and and talking about education and that sort of thing. So what has been I know you come from a marketing background, and the way you describe your coming up through the career sounds like a lot of guys where it's I look back and it had been 10 years and I'm still in the DJ business. Maybe this is my business.
Right. This is what I was put here for.
So what was your kind of learning path? Even though you came from a foundation of marketing, but there's so much more than that than to have a successful DJ entertainment company.
Much less a successful life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that the bottom line for why I got into the whole speaking thing, it certainly wasn't the money. I think I mean, obviously I lose more money than I make speaking, but it really was, and it sounds corny, was the whole pay it forward mentality. I mean, I wish that I had people 10, 15, 20 years ago to be like, you don't need to do that.
Mm.
You're getting ready to waste $10,000 on that trend or that piece of gear or, this, that, or the other. And honestly, it's been a more of a school of hard knocks than anything. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. I've learned incredible amounts of information, especially the first few years that I was going to Mobile Beat. And I would leave there with a stack of cards and a notebook full of notes, and I would come back like shot out of a cannon. I got to do all these things.
Right.
And even, golly, it's probably been 6, 7, maybe longer years ago. I even flew Mike Walter down to North Carolina.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He dresses nice.
Yeah, he came down for a day, literally showed up one morning. We did a full day, here in the office, literally here's how I book my shows. This is how we do things. And even went out that night, had all my guys set up and do almost like performance reviews. Yeah. Here's a list of introductions. Show us how you would do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really helpful. And again, just the DVDs. I mean, the Randy Bartlett's, Todd Mitchum. I used to love those DVDs he would put out. And those things have helped.
I completely get you, Joe. I mean, same sort of thing. I mean, and I kind of got that when you answered the first question about how you are a contribution to those people that you reach out to and you stay connected to. This is just you being yourself, once again, being a contribution now to an industry, and I get that completely, because I swear if I would have had the kind of things available to me that we've had as disc jockeys over the last 10 years, our careers would have moved much quicker.
Oh, I mean,
same thing for me.
I learned all the hard way. And saved, the money I would have saved.
Yeah, right.
So I can hear that in your voice. I
wasted money on fun things.
Right.
Concert tickets, and for the drummer for Kiss to hand me the drumstick and been on the front row. That's good waste of money. Then there's really bad waste of money.
It could all be in a Maserati that's in your driveway right now.
I still think the Maserati could still be a good waste of money.
And it's a good way, absolutely.
This contribution must speak to the workshop that you and Mike Walter do as well. It's a PhDJ, correct?
Correct. So we did one in March, and then the next one is November 4th and 5th, and we still have some slots open. It's right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, literally a block behind me. There's a brand new Hampton Inn. It's got a really nice AV small room. It's not some huge ballroom. There's only going to be 20, 25 of us tops, including Mike and myself. And for 2 days, we just go as hard as we can. It starts at 9 and ends at 5. And literally everything from marketing to sales to training your DJ to even going to the bar across the street where I've got a full set of gear set up. And anybody that would like to get on the mic and have a critique done, we welcome it. We tell them, hey, in advance, give us the 3 songs you want to do for this introduction. Do it just like you would do it. Just do it just like you did it on Saturday, and let us help. Let us pick it apart, or maybe it's amazing. Maybe I'll learn something from it.
Well, I can't tell you how excited it is to have you a part of this, and coming up in February at the Mobile Beat Conference, to have you there, and now to have people have kind of an insight into who you are and what you might be talking about. People are going to be very excited about this. I'm even more excited about it now that I've had a chance to chat with you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys as well. And I wish I had been able to really stop and chat when I was in Las Vegas. It was just I was in and out and kind of promoting that, and then I had friends in town, and then
that's all right.
Yeah, we heard that from everybody.
Now we got something to look forward to.
That's right.
I was kind of wah about it all, but now I'm pumped.
That Joe Bunn, he doesn't talk to anybody. Look at him. Doesn't he know who we are? Speaking of that,
from way away, I knew it was y'all. Fans and everybody's going crazy, and I was like, I can't deal with that right now.
Well, this is a perfect place to wrap, just like the ending of Scooby-Doo with everyone laughing. So, Joe, thanks so much for being on the show. Thanks for talking about what you're going to be sharing, and thanks for being an awesome contribution to the industry. We can't wait for everything you have.
About Bill and Jason, go to the Bill and Jason Show on our website, billandjasonshow.com, our Twitter feed, our Facebook feed. Come to Jason's house. I'll give you the address here. It's in Egan. The address is...
You can stop now. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll talk to you again next week on the Bill and Jason Show.
Thanks, guys.
Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth at a rate of 96 kilobytes sample per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production.